Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday, everyone. How is everyone doing? Just a quick heads up in case I am not here one morning out of for this week. I have a dog that's passing away. So if I'm not here, it means something happened and I've had to deal with that. So I'll just expect to tune in the next day. I'll probably give an update if I'm not here in a morning live stream, but don't be shocked if that happens. Just wanted to let everyone know. Good, it's been a rough weekend. Hey, thank you, Jacob. By the way, Jacob, see, this is the helped me this weekend. I really appreciate it. We got the white on blue. If it maybe it should be black on blue. I don't know, white on blue. Let me know your thoughts, how that looks. Good morning, Sterling. Good morning, Patrick. Uh, yes, I do. It's my wife's 50th birthday next week. It's my wife's 50th birthday next Tuesday, but overshadowing that is our old puppy dog who's fading away, so we'll have to see right now. But there'll be something planned. She doesn't like big parties though, so no big party, but something special. Moody's changes outlook on U.S. ratings to negative. By the way, I'm a little behind on news this morning. I just wanted to get this live stream. And technically speaking, the Futures Edge is uploading now. So that'll be available, the one I recorded last week with Bob and Jim. So check that out for some longer term thoughts. Well, I think it is Japan yen. That's why it's going up. But what are they going to come in? Yep, respond with a sense of urgency. Thank you for posting that, Sterling. So yeah, we're in the intervention territory, closed at 152. We'll see if they let it break out or not. Hey, Tony. Hey, Jacob. Again, thank you for all your help. What else? We got more stuff by Sir. I got to get through this because I got to be off the air by about 8:25. So sorry for the rush today. Good morning, Anissa. Good morning. Oh, from Boca. Wow, your World Traveler Options 22. Thank you for tuning in on all your travels. Good morning, Royal Palms. Good morning, Martinez. Thank you, Sterling. Yeah, it's been a rough weekend. He wouldn't eat. Oh, I thought yesterday was going to be his last day, but he ate some chicken breast. I did get some rotisserie chicken. He did not want it yesterday, but he had it this morning, and he wanted stuff, and he can barely stand, but he had more energy today. He's walked out. We've gone to the bathroom outside, and he was, he's. I've had so many dogs. I pretty much know when they're ready to leave. He doesn't seem like he's ready to leave just yet, but it's close. So PMG, thank you, Patrick. So that's. Do you know how many EVs are sold in India? That's what's so funny. All right, let's get through this week real quick. Today we got Fed's Cook speaking. We got consumer inflation expectations at 10 a.m. and we got the auctions. Always pay attention to these auctions now, especially for long tails. Maybe I'll go into what that means. If you don't know, you can Google it. But it's the way the auctions work with the bids coming in and the expected rate and then the final rate. Remember, if they don't sell out with the fixed bids, then everybody goes into the sort of the auction mode and it's paid out at the highest yield price. So if you bid 4.7, or let's just use the 6 month, let's say you bid 5.25 or 5.2 and there's not enough bidders, and let's say it takes it to get to 5.3, everybody's paid at 5.3. So a long tail is essentially the expected return versus where it ends up. So watch for that. We can go into that more later. But there's been a lot of tail events recently. Tomorrow is very important. We got the CPI numbers coming out tomorrow. We got more Fed speak. We got the PPI Wednesday, retail sales on Wednesday. So Wednesday's very busy too. More Fed speak on Thursday, unemployment and Philly Fed numbers. What else do we have? Kansas City numbers. And then Friday's sort of quiet. So that's where we sit there. This morning, things have turned a little red. I'm expecting a pausing pullback. We've hit some key levels. We'll go through it in a second. Sterling mentioned Tesla up with, that's ridiculous, but that's Tesla for you. Let's just refresh this real quick. So energy is the only thing that's leading. And everything else, technology and comm services, after a very strong Friday. Also, Friday had a major short squeeze. Major short squeeze. So that was, I mean, that it was insane price action on Friday. Still no hike in sight. First cut at going at the June meeting. Fear and greed still technically in fear, almost getting to neutral. And that's where we sit. In terms of earnings this week, not much today. Really not much. Things I'm keying off of Home Depot tomorrow. Again, consumer and housing are tied into Home Depot because of remodeling stuff. Keep an eye on that one. Wednesday, we got Target and Advanced Auto Parts. Advanced Auto Parts for people, auto repairs themselves. So keep an eye on that. And Target, we got Walmart on Thursday. Alibaba on Thursday, more minor. Cisco and Palo Alto Wednesday after the close. Macy's, which is one I always keep an eye on for mid to high end retailer. Williams-Sonoma for high end stuff. Applied Materials on Thursday after the close. Just highlighting some key ones. That's really about it. You got BJ Friday. BJ Friday. Don't need to say anything more about that. So, again, we had the double, which obviously completed. We came up. We're still between the 50 and the 62.5 with the S&P. My major support level on any pullback is 4,400 right now. That's this minor breakout level. That's the major support. If we start breaking down, that's the first key level I'm watching. It looks like a... Nope, stalled at the 62.5. So if we start breaking below this 4408, you got 4,400 as the first key level, and then that's into a clear path move, and the next key level is 4382. So those are my major levels. The minor levels, this is where for the short-term traders, this is the way where I'll watch for little mini bounces, 4405 and 4401. All right, those are for the mini bounces. Also, from the run-up on Friday, you can roughly look at somewhere around this 43.95 and on a closing basis 43.85. That's some key areas for that. The next key area, if we do snap back and rally today, 44.42.50, especially on a closing basis. If we close above there, my next key target is 4,500 to 4,506. So that's where that stands. Yes, Jacob. Yes, we'll get to that. The mini Dow potential double top, very good. Missed the gamma flicks. I'll try to bring that back in. I was looking for a non-paid. I like to use non-paid sources because I don't want to have people, especially beginners, to have to pay for stuff. And if it's paid, I can't really share the information because that would be doing that company a disservice, because they're charging for. So if somebody finds gamma information for free, I'll take a look at it and verify that it's pretty reliable. The NASDAQ, the major support, 15,400, 15,407. You can actually bump that up just a hair, maybe 15,422 and then 15,400. No little mini on the NASDAQ either, because remember, you got to use your retracements. But stalling out, look at that, 62.5 stalling out, could not close above it. So we still watch the breakdown point. You just have to use different targets. That breakdown point would be around 15,509. Then you're into an advanced clear path move. But the key targets, let's bump this up just a hair. Let's go to about 15,445 and then 15,4. And let's see where the retracement harmonics give us. Anywhere between 15,410 and 15,359 is key. Watch below 15,329, 15,359.25, because if we close below that, we could see some continued pullback overnight going into CPI numbers. The NASDAQ did stall out the 75% in this area, this little harmonic cluster, but I was focused more so on the 75%. I'm expecting still, with cycles rolling over on the daily, we could get to a 3 to 4 day pause, especially with the CPI numbers, and then turn higher, because on a weekly basis, and this just isn't for the NASDAQ, it's also for the S&P, we still have weekly cycles getting to the top. So we could easily make another push higher into Thanksgiving. So I'm still focused, unless we really collapse through some major support levels, I'm still focused on a pullback, then another rotation higher. On that another rotation higher, if it's strong, 15,822 in the NASDAQ. What's this? Auto loan delinquencies among some prime borrowers reached nearly 30-year high. Yes, stuff's not good under the covers. But we're still in rah-rah. Remember, the market does not have to reflect what's actually going on. Once we really, let me jump to the 10-2s real quick. Remember, stalled out the second target, but once we really start breaking below, being above zero, I've talked about this for over a year. Watch for the market to start getting potentially wrecked. We're not there yet. So we could be in rah-rah holiday mode, especially with other stuff still collapsing around us. The market does not necessarily reflect the short-term economy. Jacob, who mentioned there is a potential double top in the Dow, is completely correct. There it is. That fits. You need a close below 34,203, I'd say, at least on an hourly basis. And then your targets, 34,130, 34,093. I'd actually just make it 34,100 and 34,056 area. Into a clear path move. And I'd focus on that first and second targets on this one, because it's right near the breakout zone. The breakout zone being right here. 34,081, 34,100. But thank you for posting that, Jacob. Again, I really appreciate people who learn these things. On a move higher, there's some pretty major resistance, 34,400 to 34,470. So that's my target area for higher, and I'd fine tune it with shorter things. By the way, you do have a bigger double. Now, if the Dow were to collapse and get a close below 33,915 on a daily basis, you have a bigger double in here, which means I'd start watching for a bigger pullback. That does not ever have to trigger. Again, I always get the question, I can't say always, I get a lot of questions. Why do you put on doubles if they're not potentially going to trigger? Because I find them very helpful, especially for trailing stop levels. And I want people to analyze both sides of the market so they're not caught off guard. Just because I put a pattern, a potential pattern on the screen, does not mean it ever has to trigger. It means be aware of it. So if it does trigger, you know what to potentially expect. That's being a good, well-researched trader. 1691, you see here, Russell not closing below it. So that's, again, the key support area on a closing basis. If it does break below that, 1674 and 1656, but remember, the Russell has been the weakest. If we start breaking above about 1708, we'll be looking for, there's a significant level right around here, right around 1720. And then 1727. The VIX slightly elevated, but not much. We do have a little mini 4-hour double bottom, so keep an eye on that. But it needs a 4-hour close above 1557. And it is going against the higher time frame rotation zone, so it does not have to get to all the targets. The DAX, again, still stalling out, holding the rotation zone. Nothing of here unless the DAX gets above 15,425, 15,557 is his next major target. 15,175 on a key closing basis. Let's see. See, there's Sterling putting in the way he does the doubles. See, been backtesting for profits. This is very good. Sterling's making it his own, coming up with his own way of trading it using the key stuff. And if it breaks that final target, letting it run. That's fine. This is what I want people to do. Take anything you're learning from here and make it your own. The notes, remember, triggered the sloppy double. Pretty much the first target. So from a trailing basis, I'd start trailing early right here. But we break down below that 106.27, 106.19. The 10-year yield did confirm, but did not trigger on Friday. we're going to see, especially if this closes above the rotation zone, again, going into the inflation numbers tomorrow and Wednesday. Tomorrow being more important. Cycle's still getting the top, but not quite there. Weekly cycle's getting to the bottom, and a pullback to the weekly rotation zone in the yield. So we could easily see yield run. All right, so we'll have to see going into tomorrow. We already looked at the 10-2s dollar index. Keep an eye on this. We're getting a daily cycle highs potentially and weekly cycles lows. So when we get to low again, we could see another strong move in the dollar. At this point, I'm watching for any pausing / pullback move and then a potential setup for a breakout, possibly after Thanksgiving. Crude, very sloppy trigger on this double. This is against the rotation zone, so keep that in mind. Because the first target is right at the flat 200 in the declining rotation zone. That's really what I'm looking for on any bounce. That's 78.08, so 78 area, and then I would be looking at 78.50. We'll take a look at some other stuff later because I got to wrap this up early. 10 years on the JGB is not doing much, but the yen, Sterling put in that information earlier. Look at this. So far, taking out Halloween's highs. And remember, we're in major top territory. Major. There's your monthly chart. We should have data farther back, but this breaks above here. This is, I'd be careful. I mean, this you have to be in full trailing mode, but we break above that and they don't intervene. 153.50 area. I hate these double setups. We'll just put it on in case there's an intervention. In case there's an intervention, you could see a snap pullback even as far as 147 if they go all out on an intervention. That's how I'll use those levels. Euro, in the channeling double pattern that's hit the first and second targets, I'd just be in a aggressive trailing mode at this point for anybody longer. Pound nothing. The spiders, look at this. 440.60 closing at 440.61. So technically the spiders by 1 cent, even with a pullback, we could see a push higher. The key pullback areas in the short term, the key pullback area, come on, give me my line, is right around 437. 437. Next minor target is 442.13, and then the major target area is about 446 to 447. All right, the minor stuff, this is where on any pullback today, I'd recommend using the retracement levels. So looking to open right around 439. So 439 is the 25% harmonic. You drop below that, anywhere between about 438.50 to 438.10 would be the next key level I'll be watching for on a pullback. And then 437.16 to 436.88. To the upside, you'd have to use shorter term targets and shorter term harmonics, but the next key target is 442. The Qs, same thing here. Same thing. 376.90, 376.30. First key level support with the rising 1 hour rotation zone, then 375.18. To the upside, I'd just be looking at 377.40, 377.50, and then up to the gap fill. You break above the high. There's no pausing bar yet on the daily, but my next key area, we do have a significant level at 380.80. And then 382.28. SMH on the weekly, yeah, this other one that did catch on is turned into another. This is a lower probability double area, so keep that in mind. But we'll follow it because if it breaks down here, you could see a quick return to the 200. But that's a very key area. It is a lopsided double, and it never has to trigger, but that is very, very key. So I would keep an eye on that. Tesla, with the gap up today, still watching for rollover plays in Tesla. We're daily cycle tops. Weekly cycle bottom, so mismatch. You could definitely see still some upwards price action, but this 224 area is really strong resistance on any rally. On a rollover today, I watched for a close to Friday's low. I mean, Friday's close, a rollover to Friday's close, and we still have a gap lower. That's where we sit. That's where we sit. The average annual interest rate changed on credit cards in the U.S. now more than 20%, an all-time high. Thank you for posting that too. I was reading something about that this weekend. All right, sorry for the little rush today. We'll have to spend some more time this week looking at other key things, but I have to jump for now. Everybody have a wonderful trading day, and I shall talk to everyone later. Remember, if I don't show up for a day, I'll give an update, but don't worry, just tune in the next day or watch the update. And technically speaking, with Mike Arnold in the podcast, should be going up any moment. It was uploading in the background now. I'll talk to everyone later. Bye for now.